Blog Talk Radio.
Let God arise, let his enemies be scattered. Let them also that hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melteth before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of God. But let the righteous be glad, let them rejoice before God. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. Sing unto God, sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Yah, Yah, Yah.
Wisdom, science for freedom. Now wisdom is found in the simplest of places. Got no time to lose, got no time to waste. See, two roads before you, pick your choice. There is good and bad, oh sad. See, there is one that leads to eternal life, and the other is the road that leads to death. Oh, no one knows what a day may bring. But there is life, there is hope, redemption songs we should sing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Redemption, whoa, whoa. Yeah, now, redemption. A man is a man that you should understand. There's no east of us, so baby. And up for life we should live, or you'll be sorry. Oh yeah, you'll be sorry. For there is life, there's hope, and we should live. Yeah, redemption songs, we should live. But now, whoa, 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 redemption. Whoa, 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 yeah, now. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Redemption songs, we should sing now. I said, wisdom is found in the simplest of places. And no time to lose, got no time to waste. See two roads before you, pick your choice. There is one that leads to eternal life, the other leads to death. Well, oh Lord, yeah, now. From there is life, redemption songs, we should sing. Whoa, 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 redemption. Whoa, 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 oh yeah, redemption, redemption. Oh, we should sing.
ሰለሞንም አለ እርሱ በፊትህ በእውነትና
These are also the proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah,
Copy that.
Salamta Beteseb. Greetings and welcome, family, to this special episode of Wisdom Wednesday with the Rastamandem here on Discipleship Radio.
Princes shall come out of Egypt. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God. Sing unto God, ye kingdoms of the earth. Oh, sing praises unto the Lord. Selah, Selah, Selah. Let God arise. Let his enemies be scattered. Let them also that hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melteth before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of God. But let the righteous be glad. Let them rejoice before God. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. Sing unto God, sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Yah, Yah, Yah.
Hence here it is said, Yakum Elohim, Yafutsu, Oibai, May Elohim arise, make his enemies be scattered. Yafutsu, Oibai, Kehindof Ashan, T and Nedof, as smoke. After it has been driven away, so drive them away. Kehindof Ashan, T and Nedof, drive them away, not only as smoke is driven away, but make it seem as if they never existed. In a different interpretation, the verse Kehindof Ashan, T and Nedof is read like smoke that is made to come up are the wicked, the ratchet. A parable of a king, a melech, a negus and the guests, and the slaves, the servants in his palace. He was in the upper part of the palace, and the slaves, the servants, were in the lower part of the palace. And they raised such a smoke that the smoke came up to him. So the wicked, the ratchet, as Yeshayahu, Isaiah says, are a people that provoke me, that provoke I to my face continually, that sacrifice in gardens and burn incense, aishans upon bricks, that sit among the graves and lodge in the vaults, that eat swine's flesh, and broth of abominable things is in their vessels. These are a smoke in my nose. Isaiah 65, verses 3 to 5. Like makers of smoke are the wicked, the ratchet, the rasha, the risha'im. And when they make smoke come up in my face, that is, provoke me, provoke I, then, as it is said in Deuteronomy 29 and 19, the anger of Yahweh, of Jehovah, and his jealousy, his zealousy, shall smoke against that man. And it is also written in Psalm 18, verse 9, smoke arose up in his nostrils. Allah Hashan Be'apo. Smoke arose up in his nostrils. Allah arose up. Ashan, smoke. Be'apo, in his nostrils. Allah Ashan Be'apo. That is to say that the wicked, the rasha, risha'im, the ratchet, make themselves go up in smoke. As it is said in Psalm 37, verse 20, the enemies of Jehovah shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall pass away in smoke. They shall pass away. Ki risha'im yoredu we yorei hoa ki yakara kari kalu ve'ashan kalu. For the wicked, the ratchet, shall perish. Ki Rishaim Yovedu. And the enemies of Jehovah shall be as the fat of lambs. We oivei hoa kiyakara karim. They shall pass away in smoke. Kalu ve'ashan. They shall pass away. Kalu ki rishaim yovedu. We oivei hoa kiyakara karim. Kalu ve'ashan. Kalu be'ashan. Kalu ve'ashan. Kalu. They shall pass away. Smoke. They shall pass away. A different interpretation, different targum, taking the first part of the verse to read, the enemies of Jehovah shall be as the glory of rams. The enemies of Jehovah, we oibei Yahovah, ki yakar karim, shall be as the glory of lambs. Rav Aha said, the Rasha, the Rishaim, the ratchet, the wicked, shall come to such glory as comes to lambs. For what happens to lambs? They are killed and hung up to smoke. Another interpretation, taking the first part of the verse to read, the enemies of the Lord, the enemies of Jehovah, ve'oivei Yahovah, ve'oibei Yahovah, shall be as the glory of the dwellers on the plain. Ve'oibei Yahovah, ki yakar karim. Rav Yochanan said, the enemies of Adonai, of Jehovah, shall come to such glory as will befall the dwellers on the plain, so called in the vision of Moshe, when Adonai, Yahweh, Jehovah showed him, according to Deuteronomy 34:3, the south and the plain, as will befall them on the day when Elohim raises such a cloud of smoke that in the murk no man will be able to see his fellow. So it will be with the wicked, with the Rasha, with the Rishaim, the ratchet. Hence, here it is said, as smoke is driven away, so drive them away. So let the wicked make the ratchet perish at the presence of Elohim. Hinedofa ashan, tinedofa, himesa do naga mipne esha, yovdua rishaima mipne Elohim. So make the ratchet perish. Yovdu rishaim, at the presence of Elohim, mipne Elohim. The righteous will then rejoice, as is said, but the righteous will be glad. They will exalt before Elohim. Yea, they will rejoice with gladness. With tzaddikim yismechu, v'ya'alzua lifnei Elohim, v'yasisua ve'simcha. But the righteous will be glad. With tzaddikim yismechu, they will exalt before Elohim. Ya'alzua lifnei Elohim. Yea, they will rejoice with gladness. With yasisu ve'simcha. Sing to Elohim. Sing praises, sing aises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the skies. Shiru le'Elohim, zamru shemo, solu la rokeva, ba'eravota be'ya shemo, we ilazu lifanayo. Like a man riding a horse and guiding it over the plain. Hakadosh, the Holy One, the Isla One, Baruch Hu, blessed be He, rides upon the skies. As Moshe said in Deuteronomy 33:26, quote, he who rideth upon the sky is thy help. The end of the verse, with his name, Yod Hey, with his name, Yod Hey, B'yah Shemo, B'yah Shemo. It means that with the two letters, Yod and Hey, that spell out but half of Elohim's name, Elohim created two worlds. With Tzadikim Yismechu Ya'alazu Lifnei Elohim Ve'yasisu Ve'simcha Shiru Elohim Zamru Shemo Solu Ala Rokeva Ba'eravota Be'yah Shemo Ve'elazu Lifanayo. A father of the fatherless and a judge of widows. Avi Tomim with Diana Alamanot. A father of the fatherless. Avi Tomim. Avi Yitomim. Father of the fatherless, of the orphans. Avi Yitomim. With Diana Almanot. With Diane Almanot. A judge with Diane. Diane with Diane, and a judge with Diane Alamanot, of the Almanot, of the widows. Today's Psalm 68, verse 6 in the Hebrew. The Bnei Yisrael, the children, the sons of Israel, the Israelites, in banishment are like almanot, are like widows, and yitomim, and orphans. As is said in Lamentations 5:3, we are become orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. Not widows in fact, rather like a woman whose husband has gone to a land beyond the sea, but intends to return to her, and not orphans in fact, rather like children whose father has gone to a land beyond the sea, and who have none to provide for them. As scripture says in Jeremiah 51:5, for Israel is not widowed, nor Yehuda, nor Judah, of Elohayo, of his Elohim, of Yahweh Sabaoth, of Jehovah of hosts. A father of the fatherless and a judge of widows is Elohim in his holy habitation. Abiyah Yetomim with Diana Alamanot. Elohim Bia Me'ona Kadisho. For it is said in Psalm 146:7, Yahweh Elohim executeth justice for the oppressed, for the downpressed, giveth bread to the hungry. Yahweh Jehovah looseth the prisoners. Yahweh Elohim Osea Mishpot La Eshukim Noten Lachem La Re'avim Yahweh Matir Esurim. Jehovah is Elohim, who executes his justice for the downpressed. Osea Mishpot La Eshukim. He who be, who giveth bread to the hungry. Noten Lachem La Re'avim. Yahweh Matir Isurim, Jehovah looseth the prisoners. Elohim Moshiva Yechidim Bayitah. Elohim setteth the solitary in families. Elohim maketh the solitary to dwell in a house. Elohim Moshiv Yechidim Bayitah. Elsewhere, this is what Scripture says in Genesis 2:18. It is not good, Lotov, that the man should be solitary, that the man should be alone. Elohim fashioned Chava, Eve, out of Adam's rib and set her in a bridal chamber. In a different interpretation, the verse is taken to read Elohim Moshiva Yechidim Bayitah. Elohim setteth the solitary to dwell within. Elohim Moshiv Yechidim Bayitah. Elohim setteth the solitary to dwell within. That is, Elohim made Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Hebrew Trinity patriarchs who were solitary in the world, to dwell in the land, the Eretz Yisrael, the land of Yisrael. That is called within. Since it is said in Proverbs 8:26, while as yet he had not made the land, nor the lands without. The land of Yisrael, the Eretz Yisrael, is called, quote, the land within, end quote, the land within. And the other lands are called lands without. Motzia Isarim Ba Kosharot. He bringeth out the prisoners because of good works, good works. Motzia Isirim Ba Kosharot. He bringeth out the prisoners into prosperity. That is, the Bnei Yisrael, the sons, the children of Yisrael, of Israel, who were prisoners in Mitzrayim, in Egypt, in Mitzrayim, on the grid. Elohim brought them forth because of the good works of their fathers, of their patriarchs. But the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians, who were rebellious, remained dwelling in a parched land. Ak sorerim shaknu tzechicha. The rebellious dwell, but in a parched land, for sure, indeed. Ak sorerim shaknu tzechicha. As it is said, quote, Israel saw the Egyptians, the Mitzrayim, dead upon the seashore. Exodus 14:30. O Elohim, when thou the eye wentest forth before thy people, Elohim b'tzeitika lifnei ameka. O Elohim, when the eye wentest forth forward before thy people, Elohim b'tzeitika lifnei ameka. As Scripture says in Exodus 13:21, Yahweh Jehovah went before them by day in a pillar of cloud. It was, according to Mizmor Samek Chet, Psalm 68, Hebraically, verse 8, when thou didst march, when the eye did march through the wilderness, B'tza'edeka via Shimon Selah, when the eye did march through the wilderness, B'tza'edeka via Shimon Selah, on the day of giving, on the day of the giving of HaTorah, on the day of giving the direction, the instruction, the teaching of His Majesty. Eretz Ra'asha, the earth, she trembled. Eretz Ra'asha, Ra'asha, the earth, she trembled. And at once all the living in the land of Israel died. But the dead came to life as Hakadosh Baruch Hu dropped the dew of resurrection on them. For the verse goes on. It goes on to say, the heavens also dropped at the presence of Elohim. Afa shamayim anatafua mipnei Elohim. Zeh Sinai means Sinai was on fire. Zeh Sinai. This Zion. Zeh Sinai means Sinai was on fire. Here, Zeh is clearly a term for, quote, fire and conflagration, end quote. As in the verse in Daniel 3:19, it was wont to be fired, meziyeh, for it is said in Deuteronomy 4:11, the mountain burned with fire to the heart of heaven. A bounteous rain, a plentiful, a bounteous rain. Geshem Nidavot, when the ministering angels saw the breath of life had flowed out of the Bnei Yisrael, the sons, the children of Israel, they asked, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, the Idle One, blessed be He, quote, to whom wilt thou give HaTorah, the directions, instructions, the teaching? To the dead or to the quick? To the dead or to the living? End quote. At once, Hakadosh Baruch Hu waved out rains of life over the Bnei Yisrael, over the children, the sons of Yisrael, over the Israelites, so that they should receive HaTorah with abounding spirit, abounding irit. And the ministering angels waved the rain along with fans upon the Bnei Yisrael, upon the children of Israel, the sons, the Israelites, as it said, thou didst pour out, thou, the I, didst pour out, O Elohim. Tanif Elohim, thou didst pour out. When thine inheritance was weary, when the I inheritance was weary, Nachilateka Wenil'a Ata Konantaha. When thine inheritance was weary, when thine, the I inheritance, Nachilateka, grew weary at the noise of thunder and of earthquake, thou, the I, didst steady it, the I, didst confirm it, the I, didst steady ha. Ata konanitaha, through thy quickening, they inhabited it. Through the I quickening, they inhabited it. Psalm 68, verse 11. Thy quickening them enabled the Bnei Yisrael to inhabit the land. The end of the verse that reads, thou, O Elohim, by saying it is well, disapprove the plea of the poor. Disapprove the plea of the poor. Hayateka, Yashavu Baha, Takin Bitovateka, Le Omni Elohim. refers to the occasion when, according to Exodus 20:16, they said to Moses, "Speak thou the I with us, I and we will hear." Note that it is written in Deuteronomy and Devarim of this occasion, if we hear the voice of Yahweh Eloheinu, of Jehovah our Elohim anymore, then we shall die. Go thou near and hear all that Yahweh Eloheinu, that Jehovah our Elohim, I, true good, true God, may speak to thee, the I, in Deuteronomy 5:22 and verse 24. Thereupon Hakadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, told Moshe in Deuteronomy 5:25, they have well said all that they have spoken. Adonai yitain omer ha-mevasarot al tzava rav. Adonai gave the word. Adonai yitain omer. Great was the company of those that published it. Ha-mevasarot tzava rav. Ha-mebasarot tzava rab. When Hakadosh Baruch Hu, whose name and whose might are to be praised, are to be Ised, gave forth the divine word, the voice divided itself into 7 voices, and from the 7 voices passed into the 70 languages of the 70 nations, so that all men, all humanity understood it. Hence, here it is said, Ha-mivasirot tzava rav. Great the company of those that published it. Another comment on Adonai yitain omer. Adonai gave the word, gave the omer. The divine word came forth out of the mouth of El Shaddai, the Almighty I. And Moshe and Aharon, Moses and Aaron published it to the great company, to the Sava Rav, to the Saba Rab, to the great company, that is, to the congregation, to the aggregation of Yisrael. Malkeya Tzevaota, Yidoduna, Yu Newata Bayeta Te Chaleka Shalal. Host of angels did move them. Host of angels did move them. Malkei Tzevaota, Yidodun. These words are to be read in the light and the illumination of what Scripture says elsewhere. In Exodus 20:15, and when the people saw it, they were removed so that they stood afar off. Afar off implies that they were removed to a distance of 12 mil from the mountain. This verse intimates that the Bnei Yisrael, the children, the sons of Israel, the Israelites recoiled a distance of 12 mil and returned a distance of 12 mil, 24 mil at each commandment, at each word. Thus, the Bnei Yisrael, the children, the sons of Israel, the Israelites, went back and forth 240 mil on that day. And on that day, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, the Isla One, blessed be He, said to the ministering angels, quote, go down and help your brothers, end quote. For it is said, host of angels did move them. Malakei Atzibaota Yidodun. That is, move them at the going away from the mountain, Yidodun, and move them at the coming back, Yidodun. Rav Yehuda Bar Ilai taught, because the Bnei Yisrael were scorched by flames of fire from above, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to the clouds of glory, distill the dew of life for my children. Hence, here it is said, a bounteous rain thou didst pour out, O Elohim. Geshema nidavota tanif Elohim. The end of the verse, after thine inheritance had been weary, thou, the I, male, didst steady it, didst confirm it, didst steady her, did confirm her. Nachilateka with nila'ah, ata konantaha, ata konantaha. This means that after the Bnei Yisrael had been refreshed, at once they received Ha-Torah, God's directions, instructions. As it is said, the beauty of the house thou didst divide as spoil. The beauty of the house thou didst divide as spoil. Unnawat bayit. Unnawat bayit. Te chaleka shalal. The beauty of the house. Unnawat bayit. Thou, the I, male, didst divide as spoil. Te chalek shalal, 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 shalal.
My evil boy, everything takes time.
My advice to all is to fulfill the Ten Commandments.
Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, O children of Israel? Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians? Are ye not as children of the children of the Ethiop? Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, saith the Lord? Princes shall come out of Egypt. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God. Sing unto God, ye kingdoms of the earth. Oh, sing praises unto the Lord. Selah, Selah, Selah.
Indeed, so terrifying was the sight that Moses said, I tremble with fear. I tremble with fear. I tremble with fear. Indeed, so terrifying was the sight that Moses said, I tremble with fear. Behold, look in sight. You have come to Mount Zion, into the city of the living King of Kings, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to innumerable angels, to festal gathering, and to the assembly of the firstborn.
Father, I'm son. Father, I'm son. Father, I'm son.
Ordinary people, but you've been made to think that you are less than who and what you are. No human being made in the image and likeness of God is ordinary, because God is not ordinary. God is extraordinary, and so are you who are made in his image and in his likeness.
So I, children, sing and praise thy power, even the first power of the Holy Trinity. To the Maui, I Selassie. My name ready, my name ready, my name ready.
Evening psalm, good evening, evening psalm right here, Psalm 94, Man of Jah, Dub Wise, yes, Johnny Osborne, Dub.
Psalm 94.
Oops, my bad. Yabu right here with Jah Vengeance, the evening psalm for the fourth day of the Shavua, Dubwise right here, Psalm 94. Yes, sir.
Psalm 94. O Lord God, to whom vengeance belongeth, O God, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself. Lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth. Render a reward to the proud. Lord, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? They break in pieces thy people, O Lord, and afflict thine heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger, and murder the fatherless. Yet they say, the Lord shall not see, neither shall the God of Jacob regard it. Understand, ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will ye be wise? He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? He that chastiseth the heathen, shall not he correct? He that teacheth men knowledge, shall not he know? The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man, that they are vanity. Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest, O Lord, and teachest him out of thy law, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity, until the pit be digged for the wicked. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. And I said, my foot slippeth. Thy mercy, O Lord, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framest mischief by a law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous, and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense. My God is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord our God shall cut them off.
Rastafari.
For from the rising of the sun, even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles. And in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and a pure offering. For my name shall be great among the heathen, saith the Lord of hosts, saith the Lord of hosts, saith the Lord of hosts, saith the Lord of hosts. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice, evening sacrifice, evening sacrifice, evening sacrifice, evening sacrifice, evening sacrifice, evening sacrifice. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, for 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 thee. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, before thee as incense, as incense. As incense, as incense, as incense, as incense, as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice, evening sacrifice.
Book of the Prophets, Jeremiah 46, verses 13 to 46:28. That's in my let my do sahadu amlak. The word that Yahweh Baruch spake to Jeremiah the prophet, and be how Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, should come and smite the land of Egypt. Declare ye in Egypt, and publish in Migdal, and publish in North, and in Tapanas. Say ye, stand fast to prepare thee, for the sword shall devour round about thee. Why are thy violent men swept away? They stood not because Yahweh did drive them. He made many to fall, yea, one fell upon another. And they said, arise and let us go again to our own people, and to the land of our nativity from the oppressing sword. They cried there, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, is but a noise. He hath passed the time appointed. As I live, saith the king, the Negus, whose name is Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh Zabaoth Buruku. Surely as Tabor is among the mountains, the Tararoch, and as Carmel by the sea, so shall he come. O thou daughter dwelling in Egypt, furnish thyself to go into captivity, for north shall be waste and desolate without an inhabitant. Egypt is like a very fair heifer, but destruction cometh. It cometh out of the north. Also her hired men are in the midst of her like fatted bullocks. For they also are turned back and are fled away together. They did not stand, because the day of the calamity was come upon them, in the time of their visitation. The voice thereof shall go like a serpent, for they shall march with an army, and come against her with axes as hewers of wood. They shall cut down her force, saith Yahweh Buruku, blessed be he. Though it cannot be searched, because they are more than the grasshoppers and are innumerable. The daughter of Egypt shall be confounded. She shall be delivered into the hand of the people of the north. Yahweh Zabaoth Buruku, Ha-Elohim Yisrael, saith, behold, I will punish the multitude of Noah and Pharaoh and Egypt with their Elohim and their kings, even Pharaoh and all them that trust in him. And I will deliver them into the hand of those that seek their lives, and into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of his servants, and afterward it shall be inhabited, as in the days of old, saith Yahweh Buruku. But fear not, thou, O my servant Jacob, and be not dismayed, O Israel. For behold, I will save thee from afar off, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and be in rest, and at ease, and none shall make him afraid. Fear thou not, O Jacob, my servant, saith Yahweh Buruku, for I am with thee. For I will make a full end of all the nations where I have driven thee, but I will not make a full end of thee, but correct thee in measure. Yet will I not leave thee wholly unpunished. Amen. Kebolet Kwalu, Kebolet Dimsu, Kebolet Hailu, Kebol Ketamawi Haile Selassie, Jah Rastafari, Yeshua Shalom.
You not see yourself as Ethiopia, no Noah. Tell them, you not see yourself as Ethiopia, no Ethiopia, no Ethiopia, no Ethiopia, no Noah. Tell them, you not see yourself as Ethiopia, no Noah. Tell them, tell them, tell them, tell them.
Yeah. In smoking sense a million, you gotta give thanks and praise unto the Almighty Lord Jah. Oh yeah, do it, Jah. Murder. Make under, making up, in name Jah, oh yeah, Jah man make under, making up, in name Jah, oh yeah. inspire me to be a mic chanter. Me mark with the mic round the amplifier. Me fling with the sadness on no one culture. The conscious lyrics and go hear me utter. So if you are an adult or a teenager, say every day you hear you read a chapter. Beginning of wisdom is the fear of Jah. The bottomless pit make we throw loose the tar. The way we go jam and them take me silver. Them hang me poopa and rape me mother. They ship me from the wonderful land of Africa. The slave did the plantation owner. They take when we name jam and them call we nigga. The fungal where we no eyes to combination. They tell we say we ignorant and inferior. And all them intelligent and superior. To the complexion of them skin color. But I as a youth born as a super. The better than the fight from a tarantula. You hear the fighter come to the speaker. But it sounds sweeter with the echo chamber. The R with the root, C with the culture. The S with the last, the earth rifle ruler. The ones as a lamb going to the slaughter. Now the conqueror lion and the tribe of Judah. You can't enter Zion with a bush faster. A 16 or a revolver. Set on a Babylon with your ammunition. Cause this so at the ultimate destruction. Hope I live by the version. Heal Jaman, I live by the version. Come here. Jaman the phone, I'm talking like you. Me one for the street, I'm going for food. I write for the dance, they make me too. If I deal with it, I'm food. No black, me brown, no black, me rib, me chest, me spine, me back. Chose up and get up on the flap with all of rock. But bring a picture. Cap on a buck, and the buck on the top of the bottom of your son. Table at top, we ask no cool, let cool, no at electricity. Can be a shot, shopping for the mouth, no for the rat. Top for the bottom, we reach the top. He doesn't snap the cross of the top. Me run to the side, we got the crap. The young again, me no eat up, not come from your youth, me no score no fat. Give me a dread, me edit no flat. No live in a house, me live in a flat. Last year when this rhythm drop, your head, your toe, your body, your rap. From the body, my style, we got top, was back, I'm calling up the iron and spot. In time of trouble, John, I'm coming back, me praise the Jah. Me never will stop for worship, this and I put the sheet. We have flow red, the devil cannot. Who get a bullet, no mix after that. After ramp up, please fire shot. Malcolm X, take it on the spot. Up in a Zion, the righteous are top. Down in a hell, the wicked are rap. The sweet, the singer, a sugar miner. The mother for me, then I tell it a rat. Jackal has done in a vampire back. But when him sits on, him can't say that. You guys, them that the youth can talk. But I'm for the mic, is live a chat. Not so long, I walk on the land. The peace, the righteous, that's the man. Started the Maccabee 9 and preaching love to man and woman. King crucified by the Roman. Then to the cross, we put on a man. Rise again, the resurrection. With a him create the earth in heaven. 660 not 7. Give riches to King Solomon. Make him wiser than all other man. He could make without Adam. Sitting in Babylon as a black man with arm. The fear, the scripturism. When the weak, instead of the strong. When the right, instead of the wrong. Who me not check the politician. No fear who win the election. Band they might may please everyone. Flashing long style of fashion. Make God, make King. Him name the Orbia. Make God, make King. Him name the Orbia. Yes, it inspire me to be a mic chanter. Me march with the mic round the amplifier. Me bring with the sadness and no culture. They can't just lyrics here, but hear me utter. So if you are a adult or a teenager, every day you hear you read the chapter.
Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword, my sword, my sword, my sword.
Guide me, be my guidance, great salvation for me. You guide me, be my guidance, no they could never stop me. I'm on the rock, I'm on the rock. Higher than higher than you guide me. I'm on the rock. Tell my enemy, me not gone nowhere. Tell them to change the way. The last year, yeah. You beside me, be my guidance. Oh Lord. Yeah, bless this time, now there you are. Like I know, things flash. Yeah, they want to get me weak, but I make my stand. So we are going there. I'll be on all night long. I'm on the road. Yeah, but I never. Who died?
Alexander, Babin, I'm on the rock. Mataran. No. Alliance. If tomorrow is Judgment Day,
Original Justice Man, champion song.
when I'm standing on the front line, when the Lord asks me what I give it a sound, I would say, Jaja, you know I kill them for you. I kill them.
Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword, my sword.
Yeah, the man say, one was my builder, could you find place to sleep? But them empty, we have to find food to eat. Every day we terrorize by soldiers and police. When they think them a some man, they think them a dead. From them a play cowboy and Indian and chief. From the first to the 12th straight up to 7th street. But thinking now we find up a jump to the bed. I beg it in a life, I inherit that to me. Them care, self-employed, cannot get laid. Don't work me up. Can't even get a day up. Who do you want to start me down? Them I don't say them way up. Alright. So me say one by one, we stepping out of Babylon, and then one by one. You think fellas say I the conquering lion. Rock on, one man rock on, one man and then rock on, was my help us now, help us from the slum. Never give up, but I want to keep on your bun. Help us now, help us from the slum. Never give up, but I want to sell at the eye blood to go. Operation is a big good in a harder time. Got to widen your views, got to broaden your mind. What we find in the cancer, nowhere it cannot find. Hunger, poverty, a system so unkind. As a matter of fact, there is an aftershock. When come ground up a bed, I'm up below the rock. Try to make it through the system, all those were lost. Yet nothing is a try, so I don't stop. All the time the right to book on you. All kinds of other crap they would have put on you. Yet when you're into there, they would look on you. They would only stand and wanna have the boots on you. But I know, Zion gone. Ethiopia, Africa, watch out. Give a rain, the fall. Hey, man, I lie to me, so that's the item of war. I read the Bible, turn to the east and pray to God. Goodbye, Babylon, goodbye. Open now, Zion soul, no Zion, Ethiopia for soul. Children of Israel, children of Israel. Hey, rock on, one man below. Rock on, one man below. And then rock on, was man below. Rock on, was man below. Give me now. Yeah, man, me cool as seven and old. Mama don't see me no one for fool. I remember the dance, make my tool. If I'm not table, sit on the stool. Me black, me brown, me black. Picture me chest, me smile in my back. Little in here when the change up. Elliot, who your body, I rock. For me, for the mic, see Molly, I chat. Firm and song to the on the land. The preach with righteous of some man. Brother correction in a man. Preaching out to man and no man. Give riches to King Solomon. No, much of a lot up. Chop on a buck on a chop. Sweet the thing I was to the man. Mother's coming in like any other. When it's the sun, they can't get that. I did not see you can talk. I put up my bag, I'm up in the clock. Give me a dread, me
Up in the sand, the righteous will top. Jah flow break the devil cannot. Rock on, white man below. Rock on, white man below. And then rock on, white man below. Rock on, white man below.
Discipleship Radio.
Salomon Nimal, Arsu, their feet, These are also the proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out.
You're listening to Rastafari Discipleship Radio featuring Yadon Ben Chayil Ben Kushi, PK Ras I Adonis and the Rastafari, Chavirim of the Lion of Judah Society Online Logest.org. כולכם מאזינים לרדיו תלמידי רסטפרי בהשתתפות ידון בן חייל בן קושי פקה רס אי אדוניס והחברים הרסטפרי של אגודת אריה יהודה אונליין לוג'ס.org.
Listening to Yehuda Moa and Besa Radio. Listening to Yehuda Moa. Listen to Yehuda Moa and Besa. Listen to Yehuda Moa and Besa Radio.
Sabbatical study, this I Rastafari sabbatical study for this Shabbat strong. Here, Shema Yisrael, here, Gevio Yisrael, here for the Revi, here for the fourth Aliyah, the fourth reading, the fourth up offering, here for this Shabbat Bishalach. Sabbath when he let go, Sabbath in letting go. Here picking up with the second book of Moshe, the Hebrew book that is called Exodus. Exodus chapter 14, here at verse 26 for the Revi'i, here for the fourth Aliyah, here for this Shabbat Bishalach. Note, this is the Shalishi Sephardim. This is the third Aliyah, here Exodus chapter 14, verse 26, for the Sephardim. Here for the Orthodox, traditional, the Ashkenazi, here we have the Revi'i, the fourth Aliyah, here for this Shabbat Bishalach, and here from the Sefer Shemot, the Hebrew book of the names, known as Exodus chapter 14, verse 26. ויאמר יהוה אל משה נטעה את ידך על הים וישובו המים על מצרים על רכבו ועל פרשיו. And Jehovah said to Moshe, stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Mitzrayim, upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. Vayomer Yahuwah el Moshe nitei et yadeka al hayam v'yashuvu hamayim al Mitzrayim al rikubo v'al parashayo. And Moshe stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians, fled against it, and Yahweh overthrew the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians, in the midst of the sea. Vayeta Moshe et yado al hamayim vayashava hayam lifnota boker Le'ayatanoa ua Mitzrayima nasima likaratoa waya na era Yahuwah ela Mitzrayima betoka hayam. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen. All the hosts of Pharaoh, all the hosts of Pharaoh, all the hosts of the great house that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. Vayashuvu hamayim, vayakasua eta harakav, ve'eta ha-parashim, lekola chela Pharaoh. Ha bayim acherehem bayam lo nisara bahem ada echad. Here redemption, second part by power, the fourth stage of the journey. Here verse 29. But the Bnei Yisrael, the children, the sons of Yisrael, walked upon dry in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. Uvnei Yisrael halku bayayavsha b'chok hayam v'hamayim lahem choma miyaminam uwa nisa molam. Thus, like this, Yahweh, Jehovah saved Yisrael that day out of the hand of the Mitzrayim, out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Yisrael and Israel, Yasharel, man who sees the true good, the true God, saw the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians, dead upon the sea shore. Vayosha, Yahweh, and Jehovah saved. Waya Yosha'a Yahuwah Bayoma Hahua Eta Yisrael Miyad Mitzrayim Vayare Yisrael Eta Mitzrayim Mit Allah Sefata Hayam and Yisrael, Israel, the man who sees the true good, the true God, saw that great walk which Yahweh, which Jehovah did upon the Mitzrayim, upon the Egyptians, and the people feared, reverence, respected Yahweh, Jehovah, and believed, and amen, Yahweh, Jehovah, and his servant Moshe, and his servant Moses. Vayare Yisrael eta hayada ha-gedola, asher asah Yahweh be-Mitzrayim, Wayayirua ha'ama eta Yahuwah, Wayayaminu ba-Yahuwah, Ua ve-Moshe avdo. And here, Shema Yisrael, here, Gevil Yisrael, here, second book of Moshe, Hebrew book that is called Exodus. Here, picking up Exodus chapter 15, redemption, complete. First item, by blood. Badam. Second item, by power, the song of the redeemed. As Yashir Moshe Uvnei Yisrael eta ha-shira hazot la Yahuwah vayomru leimor Ashira la Yahuwah kia gao ga susa ve'rochvo Rama Vayam. Then sang Moshe and the children of Bnei Yisrael, the sons of Yisrael, this song, La Yahuwah, to Jehovah, and spake, saying, I will sing La Yahuwah to Jehovah, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. As Yashira Moshe Uvnei Yisrael Eta Hashira Hazot La Yahuwah Vayomru Leimor Ashira La Yahuwah Kia Gao Ga'ah Susa Ve'rokvo Rama Bayam. Yahuwah Jehovah, my strength and song. Yah is my strength and song, and he has become my salvation, and he's become my Yeshua. He, Elohai, Halei, and I will prepare him an habitation, my father's Elohim, and I will exalt him. Ozi, Zimra, Ya, Wayahi, Li Shua, Ze, Elia, Ze, Anawehu, Elohe Avi, Wa, Romemenahu, Sha, Ya is my strength, Ozi, with Zimrata, Ya, and my Zimrat, my song, my chant, Ozi, with Zimrat, Ya, Wayahi, Li Shua, and he has become my Shua, Wayahi, Li Shua, Ze'eli, where Anawehu, this is Eli, this is my El, my true good, my true God, Ze'eli, where Anawehu, and I will glorify him, Anawehu, Elohe Abi, my father's Elohim, Elohe Abi, Wa Romemenhu, Va Romemenhu, and I will exalt him, Elohe Abi, Wa Romemenhu, and I will exalt him, Yahweh, Yahweh, a man of war, Yahweh, Lord, hey, Yahweh, Shemo, his name, Yahweh, Isha Milachama, Yahweh, Shemo, Jehovah is a man of war, Yahweh, Ish Milchama, Yahweh, Jehovah, his name, Yahweh, Shemo, Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts hath he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Yam Suf, in the Etra Bahir, in the Red Sea, in the Eritrean Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone. Thy right hand, O Yahweh, O Jehovah, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Yahweh, Jehovah, hath dashed in pieces the enemy, and in the greatness of thine excellency, in the greatness of thy majesty, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee. Thou sentest forth thy wrath, consumed them as stubble, and with the blast of thy nostrils the waters were gathered together. The flood stood upright as a heap. The depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. Thou, the eye didst blow with thy wind, the sea covered them sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like to thee, I, O Yahweh, O Jehovah, among the gods, among the mighty? Who is like thee, I, glorious in holiness and idleness, set apartness, fearful, terrible, dreadful in praises and eyes, doing wonders. Mi kamoka ba'elim Yahuwah, mi kamoka medara v'kodesh nora tehilota ose fele. Thou stretchest out thine right hand, the earth swallowed them. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people Ha'am. Thou hast redeemed, thou hast guided in thy strength to thy holy, thy idol, thy set apart habitation. The people shall hear, be afraid, sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed, the mighty men of Moab. Trembling shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of thine arm they shall be still as a stone, till thy people pass over, O Yahweh, O Jehovah, till the people Ha'am pass over. Thou hast purchased, thou, the I, shall bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance. The place, O Yahweh, O Jehovah, thou hast made for the I to dwell in. The sanctuary, O Adon, Adonai, Donai, thy hands have established. Yahweh, Jehovah shall reign forever and ever. Yahweh, Jehovah shall reign for ever and ever. Yahweh, Yimlok, Le'olam Va'ed. Yahweh, Jehovah shall reign forever, for ever and ever. Yahweh, Yimlok, Le'olam Va'ed. For the horse of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and Yahweh and Jehovah, Yahweh, brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the Bnei Yisrael, the children, the sons of Yisrael, went on dry in the midst of the sea. And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aharon, took a timbrel, a drum, a kabro, in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels, with kabro, thunder bass drums, and with dances. Watikah Miriam. And Miriam took Vatikah Miriam Ha-Neviah Chota Herona Etza Hatof Yadaha Vatetena Kol Ha-Nashim Achereha Betupim Uavimocholota. And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, Vatikah, Miriam took Vatikah Miriam Ha-Neviah, and Miriam the prophetess took Vatikah Miriam Ha-Neviah, Chota Aaron, the sister of Aaron, Etza Hatof, took a timbrel, Etza Hatofa, Yadaha, in her yad, in her hand, Yadaha, Watet Eina Kola Hanashi. And all the women went out. Achereha, after her, Betupim, with timbrels, Vimocholot, and with dances, Vimocholot, and with mocholot, and with dances. And Miriam answered them, sing y'all la Yahweh to Jehovah, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider have he thrown into the sea. Wata'ana lahema Miriam shiru la Yahweh, and Miriam sang to them a song. Wata'ana lahema Miriam shiru la Yahweh. Kia Gaoa Gaha Susa we Rokbo Ramabayam. Sing yo to Yahweh, to Jehovah. Shiru la Yahweh. Sing to Jehovah. Shiru la Yahweh. Kia Gaoa Gaha. For he is highly exalted. Kia Gaoa Gaha. For he is highly exalted. Sus, the horse, with Rokbo, and his rider, Ramabayam, hath he thrown into the sea. Ramabayam, hath he thrown into the sea. Redemption. Third item, experience. The fifth stage of the journey. Verse 22. So Moses brought Israel from the Yam Suf, from the Etra Bahir, from the Red Sea, the Sea of Reeds, the Eritrean Sea, And they went out into the Midbar, the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the Midbar, in the wilderness, and found no water. Redemption. Third item, experience. The sixth stage of the journey, the sixth stage of the tribe. How bitter becomes sweet. Verse 23. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. And Ha'am and the people murmured against Moshe, against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? And he cried to Yahweh, to Jehovah, and Yahweh, Jehovah, shewed him a tree. When he had cast into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and they are. He proved them, and said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh, Eloheka, I Elohim, true good, true God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep his statutes, I will put no one of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Mitzrayim, upon the Egyptians. Ki ani Yehovah, Rofeka, for I be he who be, that healeth thee. Ki ani Yehovah, Rofeka. And the people murmured. Why yelonu ha'am? Vayilonu ha'am. And the people murmured al Moshe, against Moses, Lamor, saying, Ma nishteh, what shall we drink? Ma nishteh, what shall we drink? What shall we drink? What shall we drink? What shall we drink? Why yit'aka Yehovah? And he cried to Jehovah. And he cried to Jehovah. Why are your Rehu Yahweh? Hey, and Jehovah, Yod Hey Yahweh, showed him a tree. Why are your Rehu Yahweh? Hey. Why are Yashalek? Illa Hamayim, Wayimate Koa Hamayim, Sham Samlo Hoka, Ua Mishpot, with Shama Nisahu, and he cast it into the water. Wayashlek, Illa Hamayim, and the waters were made sweet. There he made for them some Lau Hawk. There he made for him some Lau Hawk. There he made for them a hawk. There he made for them a statute. Ua Mishpot, and an ordinance for judgment. Mishpot. With Sham, Nisahu, and there he proved them, the Shama Nisahu, and there he proved them. And he said, Wayomer, and he said, In Shamo'a Tishma'a Lekol Yehovah, if thou wilt diligently hearken and hearing to the voice of Yahweh, Eloheka. Vayomer, im shamo'a tishma'a lekol Yahweh Eloheka, with ha yashar bit ayanayo ha isse, with ha ezaneta le mita otayo, with shamarta kola chukayo, kola ha machela asherah samti v'mitzrayim lo asim aleka ki ani Yehovah rofeka. And he said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh, of Jehovah, the I, Elohim, true God, and will do that which is right in his eyes, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put no one of the diseases upon thee, which I have put upon the Mitzrayim. Kiani Yehovah, for I be Jehovah. Kiani Yehovah, for I be Rof Eka, that healeth thee. Sabbatical study, this I Rastafari sabbatical study for this Shabbat strong.
My advice to all is to fulfill the Ten Commandments. You are aware of the contents of the Ten Commandments and can elaborate on. If the nation for which I am the emperor follows and accepts this, since it's also what I accept and follow. I would believe our country is not only historically Christian, but also actively Christian.
The guidance star is running in the sky. The guidance star is running in the sky. Suppose that star should ever fall, what would you think would happen?
Well, I've been a Rasta from ever since, you know. But it's not how long I've been a Rasta, how long it takes to grow up. Because what is right place from beginning to the end, you can never change. So we're not Rasta from creation.
Don't let it fall. You are the guided Father. You are the guided Master. The guidance star is running in the sky. The guidance star is running in the sky. Suppose that star should ever fall, what would you think would happen? You're not living in the world. Yes, nothing.
Rastafari.
I said, remember what King Pharaoh did to children of Israel. Remember what King Pharaoh did to children of Israel. Just said to Moses, go down there to free them. Just said to Moses, go down there to free them.
Exodus chapter 15. Then sang Moshe and the children of Israel.
Az yashir Moshe uvnei Israel.
This song to Yahweh. They uttered utterance.
Et hashira hazot ladonai vayomru lemor.
I shall sing to Yahweh, for he has triumphed. Yes, triumphed.
Ashir al Adonai ki ga'o ga'a.
The horse and its charioteer He flung into the sea.
סוס ורוכבו רמה בים.
By fierce might and strength is Yah.
עוזי וזמרת יה.
He has become deliverance for me.
ויהי לי לישועה.
This is my God. I honor him.
זה אלי וענווהו.
The God of my father. I exalt him.
אלוהי אבי וארוממנו.
Yahweh is a man of war.
אדוני איש מלחמה.
Yahweh is his name.
אדוני שמו.
Pharaoh's chariots and his army he hurled into the sea.
מרכבות פרעה וחילו ירה בים.
His choicest teams of 3 sank in the sea of reeds.
ומבחר שלישיו טובעו וימסו.
Oceans covered them.
תהומות יחסיונו.
They went down in the depths like a stone.
ירדו במצולות כמו אבן.
But passed over their house, passed over their house, passed over their house, passed over their house, passed over their, but passed over their houses. So quickly did the Jews depart. One of the Hebrew tribes struck south from Egypt and settled in Ethiopia, settled in Ethiopia, settled in Ethiopia, settled in Ethiopia, settled in Ethiopia. But passed over their houses, but passed over their houses. But passed over their house, passed over their house, passed over their house, passed over their destruction to the Egyptians, destruction to the Egyptians, destruction to the Egyptians, but passed over their houses. So quickly did the Jews depart. One of the Hebrew tribes struck south from Egypt and settled in Ethiopia. Chanting in Hebrew, the youngest schoolboy asks, "Why is this night different from all others?" Falasha understand the language of the Old Testament. The story of Passover is known to them all. On this night, the flight to freedom began, away from Pharaoh's Egypt, away from the angel of death that brought destruction to the Egyptians, but passed over their houses. So quickly did the Jews depart, they were forced to bake their bread unleavened. To celebrate their escape, unleavened bread is eaten by Jews everywhere on Passover Eve, 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 on Passover Eve.
Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, O children of Israel?
Chapter 15.
פרק ט"ו.
Then sang Moshe and the children of Israel.
אז ישיר משה ובני ישראל.
This song to Yahweh. They uttered utterance.
את השירה הזאת לאדוני ויאמרו לאמור.
I shall sing to Yahweh, for he has triumphed. Yes, triumph.
אשיר על אדוני כי גאו גאה.
The horse and its charioteer he flung into the sea.
סוס ורוכבו רמה בים.
By fierce might and strength is Yah.
עוזי וזמרת יה.
He has become deliverance for me.
ויהי לי לישועה.
This is my God, I honor him.
זה אלי וענווהו.
The God of my father, I exalt him.
אלוהי אבי וארוממנו.
Yahweh is a man of war.
אדוני איש מלחמה.
Yahweh is his name.
אדוני שמו.
Pharaoh's chariots and his army he hurls into the sea.
מרכבות פרעה וחילו ירה בים.
His choicest teams of three sank in the sea of reeds.
ומבחר שלישיו טובעו בים סוף.
Oceans covered them.
תהומות יחסיומו.
They went down in the depths like a stone.
ירדו במצולות כמו אבן.
Your right hand, O Yahweh, majestic in power.
ימינך אדוני נעדרי בכוח.
Your right hand, O Yahweh, shattered the enemy.
ימינך אדוני תרעץ אויב.
In your great triumph, you smashed your foes.
וברוב גאונך תהרוס קמך.
You sent forth your fury, consumed them like chaff.
תשלח חרונך יאכלמו קשקש.
By the breath of your nostrils, the waters piled up.
וברוח אפיך נערמו מים.
The gushing streams stood up like a dam.
ניצבו כמונד נוזלים.
The oceans congealed in the heart of the sea.
קפאו תהומות בלב ים.
Uttered the enemy.
אמר אויב.
I will pursue,
ארדוף.
overtake,
אשיג.
and apportion the plunder.
אחלק שלל.
My greed will be filled on them.
תמלאמו נפשי.
My sword I shall draw.
אריק חרבי.
My hand dispossess them.
תורישמו ידי.
You blew with your breath. The sea covered them.
נשפת ברוחך כי שמו ים.
They plunged down like lead in majestic waters.
צללו כעופרת במים אדירים.
Who is like you among the gods, O Yahweh?
מי כמוך באלים אדוני.
Who is like you, majestic among the holy ones?
מי כמוך נעדר בקודש.
Feared one of praises.
נורא תהילות.
Doer of wonders.
עושה פלא.
You stretched out your right hand.
נטית ימינך.
The underworld swallowed them.
תבלעמו הארץ.
You led in your faithfulness. Your people redeemed.
נחית בחסדך עם זו גאלת.
Guided in your fierce might to your holy pasture.
נהלת ועוזך אל נווה קודשך.
The peoples heard.
שמעו עמים.
They shuddered.
ירגזון.
Writhing seas, Philistia's settlers.
חיל אחז יושבי פלשת.
And then terrified Edom's chieftains.
אז נבהלו אלופי אדום.
Moab's rams, trembling did seize them.
אלי מואב יוחזמו רעב.
Then melted away all Canaan's settlers.
נמוגו כל יושבי כנען.
There fell upon them dread and anguish.
תיפול עליהם אימתה ופחד.
Before your arm's greatness, they drew dumb like stone.
בגדול זרועך ידמו כאבן.
until they crossed your people, O Yahweh,
עד יעבור עמך אדוני,
until they crossed the people you fashioned.
עד יעבור עם זו קנית,
You brought them, you planted them on the mount of your heritage,
תביאמו ותטעמו בהר נחלתך,
foundation of your seat, which you prepared, O Yahweh.
מכון לשבטך פעלת אדוני,
The holy shrine, O Lord, founded by your hand.
מקדש אדוני כוננו ידיך.
Let Yahweh be king for the ages, eternity.
אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
For Pharaoh's horses came with chariots and riders into the sea.
קיווה סוס פרעה ברכבו ופרשיו בים.
But Yahweh turned back the sea's waters upon them.
וישב אדוני עליהם את מי הים.
And the children of Israel went upon the dry land through the midst of the sea.
ובני ישראל הלכו ביבשה בתוך הים.
Now Miriam, the prophetess, Aharon's sister, took a timbrel in her hand.
ותיקח מרים הנביאה אחות אהרון את התוף בידה.
And all the women went out after her.
ותצאנה כל הנשים אחריה.
With timbrel and with dancing.
בתופים ובמחולות.
Miriam chanted to them.
ותען להם מרים.
Sing to Yahweh, for he has triumphed. Yes, triumph.
שירו לאדוני כי גאו גאה.
The horse and his charioteer he flung into the sea.
סוס ורוכבו רמה בים.
No, you can't run. Got the job to be done, so you got to do it even a little mile. Yes, somebody. Prophets up for all, let the west got you There's a lot of work to be done, oh gosh, in the promised land.
I just want to go out of the house, nigga, Jasper. What up?
There's a lot of work to be done, oh gosh, in the promised land. There's a lot of work to be done, oh gosh, in the promised land, in the promised land.
Here we have today's daily song. We have Psalm 9 according to the royal order of Ethiopian hymn.
Psalm 126. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, 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 captivity of Zion. We were like them that dream, 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 dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things, 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 great things. Psalm 126. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with sheaves, with sheaves, with sheaves, with sheaves, with sheaves, with sheaves.
Well, let the righteous be glad. Let them rejoice before God.
Just Rastafari. Just Rastafari. Just Rastafari.
መዝሙር 125 በቅንፍ 126 የማዕረግ መዝሙር መዝሙር 125 በቅንፍ 126 የማዕረግ መዝሙር እግዚአብሔር የጽዮንን ምርኮ በመለሰ ጊዜ እጅግ ደስተኞች ሆነን በዚያን ጊዜ አፋችን ደስታን አንደበታችንም ሐሴትን ሞላ በዚያን ጊዜ በአሕዛብ ዘንድ እግዚአብሔር ታላቅ ነገርን አደረገላቸው ተባለ እግዚአብሔር ታላቅ ነገርን አደረገልን ደስም አለን አቤቱ በደቡብ እንዳሉ ፈታሾች ምርኳችንን መልስ በለቅሶ የሚዘሩ በደስታ ይለቅማሉ በሄዱ ጊዜ ዘራቸውን ተሸክመው እያለቀሱ ተሰማሩ በተመለሱ ጊዜ ግን ነዶአቸውን ተሸክመው ደስ እያላቸው ይመጣሉ
Psalm 126. And the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, 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 captivity of Zion. We were like them that dream, 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 dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things, great things, great things, great things, great things, great things, great things. Psalm 126. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with sheaves, 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 with sheaves.
Amen. I know.
Ha, hu, hi, ha, he, hu, ho, ne, lu, li, la, le, nu, lo. Ha, hu, hi, ha, he, hu, ho. Me, mu, mi, ma, me, mu, mo. Se, su, si, sa, se, su, so.
See? So this is what kind of cause a thing, because some people, you know, some Rasta man is more like, some Rasta don't do the work, in a sense of do the work. I personally believe that I must help and do the work. Some man believes that, well, all they do is left everything to God. No, I don't believe in like that way.
For with stammering lips and another tongue, for with stammering lips and another tongue, for with stammering lips and stammering lips and stammering lips and stammering lips.
Bring forth the Bible. Bring forth the Bible. Bring forth the Bible. Bring.
Salam to Tainayas Terling. Today's daily psalm, according to the royal order of the Ethiopian Hebrews, and hereafter the order of Melchizedek, Garmawi Kanamawi Haile Selassie, Ha Kadosh Baruch Hu Baruch Hashem. We have Mezmor Meto Haya Sadist, Psalm 126. As we had mentioned in the Hebrew and the Sefer Tehillim Groundation, today's daily psalm often themed as a disappointed hope, but yet it is a psalm concerning repatriation. It's a psalm concerning the return from Babylon and the captivity, the turning, how John has turned, the turning of Sion, today's daily psalm right here. So we have the theme of a disappointed hope. Now it's interesting, and as the Hail Up I and I Fellows, Brother Yasin was reasoning on that, and even looking at, where the once lost now found are right here in tune with the history concerning even the Shashamani land grant, and these things and those things. But here, today's daily psalm is a thanksgiving for return from captivity. So we're going to write up the Royal Amharic and compare and contrast right here with the KJV English. So from the Authorized, Revised Amharic Bible, the Book of the Seven Seals of Garmawi, Kanmawi, Haile Selassie, the conquering line of the tribe of Judah, the root of David. Weep not, behold. So here we have Yesedet te melashoch mezmor. Yesedet te melashoch, those the return of the captivity. So here was Mother Falasha, even we of this north country, the once lost now found, the black and brown sheep of the Beta Yisrael. Right? A psalm, a chant, an intonation here. Thanksgiving for return from captivity. And here in the beginning of this 400 year, 2019, is just very interesting, just to note that for the record. But then there's also the sense in today's daily psalm of a disappointed hope, a feeling of disillusionment that underlies what some regard as a pathetic psalm, in that sense, a psalm of some suffering. I the sufferer, I the wailer. The glorious expectations aroused, historically speaking, for we the black Jews by the edict of Koresh or Cyrus are compared to and with the meagerness of what had so far been achieved. We look at Shashamani. We look at where we're at now and from then and what has gone on, the ups and downs, the follies, the underground. And the comparison, it inspires a petition, an abetuta, a petition, a sha'al in the Hebrew. A petition is an ask. It inspires an ask, a petition that the immediate future would be blessed with prosperity. So here we have in today's daily psalm, Mezmor Meto Haya Sadist, the Mezmore Dawid, in the Psalms of David, the Psalter, today's daily psalm. So the superscription first, Ye Ma'arig Mezmor, song of degrees, a song of ascents. And just to make a note right here for the fellow Chabarim, me, my people, my brothers, the Talmudim, the Dekam Zamorit, fellow disciples, we have from Psalm 120 to Psalm 134, the Aliyah. The Aliyah in the Hebrew, right, is the Ma'arig, the ascension. So here we have an ascension psalm, Ye Ma'arig Mezmor. So here, Psalm 126 is also a song of ascension, of going up, of the pilgrimage psalm, also the returning to the land. So going to the land, the promised land, is even that aliyah, that going up, right? Ma'arig. So we have here Ma'arig Mezmor, a song of degrees, a song of ascents. So make I and I begin. Besem Ab, Wawelid, Wamenfes Kaduz, Ahadu, Amlak, and Jamral. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the one source, we begin. Guter Ant. When the Lord, the sustainer, the good, the generous Father, turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Verse 2. Bezian gize afachin desetan. Bezian gize afachin desetan. And the betach nema hasetina mola. Bezian gize ba'azav zenek giziavia talak negrina de regalat tabale. Then was our mouth filled with laughter. Bezian gize afachin. Afachin destan. Then was our mouth filled with happiness, and our tongue with singing under betachnim hasetin mola. Hasetin mola. Then said they among the heathen, among the nations, Bezian Gizeh, Ba'ahzav Zen, Ba'ahzab, among the different Hizboch peoples. Then they said, Then they said, that the sustainer, the good, the generous, our Father, have done great things for them. Source, verse 3. The Lord, the sustainer, the good, the generous, our Father, have done great things for us, for I and I. Whereof we are glad. Desim alen. We are des happy, glad. Arat, verse 4. Avetu. Turn again our captivity, O Lord. To our father's father, O Father of the Beit, the house. As the streams in the south. Bedebub and Dalu Fasashoch Merkoachnin Melis. Uter Amis, verse 5. Belikso Yemizaru Abedeseta Yilekmal. They that sow in tears, Belikso Yemizaru, shall reap in joy. Bedeseta Yilekmal. Uter Sadist, verse 6. Behedu gize, zarachowina teshekumoa iyalekasua tesamaru. Betenelesu gize gina nedoachowina teshekumo desiyalacho yimetalu. He that goeth forth and weepeth, he that goeth forth and weepeth, behedu gize, in their goings, zarachowin teshekumo iyalekasu tesamaru. Bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again, with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. Nedoachowin teshekmo, desiyalacho yimetal.
Well, let the righteous be glad. Let them rejoice. Let them God.
Just Rastafari. Just Rastafari. Just Rastafari.
Bring forth the Bible. Bring forth the Bible. Bring forth the Bible.
መዝሙር 125 በቅንፍ 126 የማዕረግ መዝሙር። እግዚአብሔር የጽዮንን ምርኮ በመለሰ ጊዜ እጅግ ደስተኞች ሆነን። በዚያን ጊዜ አፋችን ደስታን አንደበታችንም ሐሴትን ሞላ። በዚያን ጊዜ በአሕዛብ ዘንድ እግዚአብሔር ታላቅ ነገርን አደረገላቸው ተባለ። እግዚአብሔር ታላቅ ነገርን አደረገልን፣ ደስም አለን። አቤቱ በደቡብ እንዳሉ ፈሳሾች ምርኳችንን መልስ። በለቅሶ የሚዘሩ በደስታ ይለቅማሉ። በሄዱ ጊዜ ዘራቸውን ተሸክመው እያለቀሱ ተሰማሩ። በተመለሱ ጊዜ ግን ነዶአቸውን ተሸክመው ደስ እያላቸው ይመጣሉ።
Get a youth hungry and poor. Well then, rise up from the awakening, from the dust. No complaint for manifest your work as early as the morning, go the morning talk. Promise.
Psalm 126. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, 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 captivity of Zion. We were like them that dream, 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 dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things, 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 great things. Psalm 126. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with sheaves, 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 with sheaves.
መዝሙር 125 በቅንፍ 126 መዝሙር 125 በቅንፍ 126 የማዕረግ መዝሙር። እግዚአብሔር የጽዮንን ምርኮ በመለሰ ጊዜ እጅግ ደስተኞች ሆነን። በዚያን ጊዜ አፋችን ደስታን አንደበታችንም ሐሴትን ሞላ። በዚያን ጊዜ በአሕዛብ ዘንድ እግዚአብሔር ታላቅ ነገርን አደረገላቸው ተባለ። እግዚአብሔር ታላቅ ነገርን አደረገልን፣ ደስም አለን። አቤቱ በደቡብ እንዳሉ ፈሳሾች ምርኳችንን መልስ። በለቅሶ የሚዘሩ በደስታ ይለቅማሉ። በሄዱ ጊዜ ዘራቸውን ተሸክመው እያለቀሱ ተሰማሩ። በተመለሱ ጊዜ ግን ነዶአቸውን ተሸክመው ደስ እያላቸው ይመጣሉ።
For my next number, I'd like to return to the classics.
Well, I tell the Almighty Father we praise and yes, black people, I love you always. Farmer man till it some more, till this side some more. Here war a one and the ghetto youth poor. Till it some more, ain't so I miss a poor. You get the youth collabore, so farmer man till it some more. Till it some more, politician war a one so put the food on me door. Till it some more, till it some more. Now, make the youth set secure now. This is the awakening, rise from the dust. Get the youth stop complaining and go manifest your work as early as the morning with the load up the truck with food from east west north and from sun me bring it come. I think son people love them but get the youth hungry. Me a beg you no fuss nobody laugh because the government suppose me now go carry them stuff. Don't get rook staff and not get brush. So till is some more, till is some more. Get the youth hungry, me say get the youth full. Till is some more, till this side some more. Babylon a war and youth hungry and poor farmer. Till is some more, just till this side little more. Get the youth hungry and the black woman them poor. Till is some more, till is some more. Yeah, don't the door. Then them a war when they bring the youth I still a see I like water in a rock me come fearing them try me come free all of them problem pacify and satisfy get a youth to send a cry. Remember to hear emperor still a see I see from you a put down your gun not be a get a youth a die. How give your heart or see your little guy. Need some more, need some more. You see get a youth a fuss and get a youth a live for till this I some more since last TV style more. Now, them have to get a youth collaborate myself it need some more. Give me righteousness more. Here where I go and get a youth collaborate. Give me a little more. Give me the good earth for sure. I look to the east, and I gather Rastafari children and make them no sense. Babylon system is the beast, and the head is John Pope and Elizabeth, and the rest are all of them way I pick up in a meat, and them bloody feast. Have them together season, and poor people them a cheat. Me tell the get a youth and them no figure how beneath cause. Babylon have got them white sing, kill it some more, kill it some more. Be where I go and get a youth some more, kill it some more, kill it some more. Yo, farmer put down all the food and me door, me say kill it some. Babylon no kill nothing more, or else Rasta have got judge your face or no kill nothing more. Righteousness more, get a youth hungry and poor. Well then, rise up from the awakening, from the dust. No complaint for manifest our work as early as the morning load up morning talk. From east from west from all people it up. From sun touch the city give them food. People up them gun do no fuss me now go carry them stuff. Babylon get rooks off. No for them get brush Babylon them a cough them teeth them not brush. Yeah down till it some more. Till it some more.
RasTafari. Abagada Taya Kalamana Saifatada Warashata. Evil, boy, everything takes that.
מזמור קכ"ו שיר המעלות. בשוב אדוני את שיבת ציון היינו כחולמים. אז ימלא שחוק פינו ולשוננו רינה. אז יאמרו בגויים הגדיל אדוני לעשות עם אלה. הגדיל אדוני לעשות עמנו היינו שמחים. שובה אדוני את שביתנו כאפיקים בנגב. הזורעים בדמעה ברינה יקצורו. הלוך ילך ובכו נושא משך הזרע. בו יבוא ורינה נושא אלומותיו.
מזמור קוף כף וואו. מזמור קוף כף וו. מזמור קוף כף וואו. Psalm 126. Psalm CXXVI. מזמור קוף כף וואו. שיר המעלות. בשוב יהוה את שיבת ציון היינו כחולמים. שיר המעלות. שיר המעלות. A song of ascents, a song of degrees. Shir, a song, Hama'ilot, of goings up. Hama'alot, Shir Hama'alot, Beshub, Yahuwah, Eta Shibata Tzion. When Yahuwah, he who be, we be, when Jehovah brought back those that returned to Zion, Beshub, Yahuwah, Eta Shibat Tzion. Hayinu, we became Hayinu, K'cholmim, we became like dreamers. We became like to them that dream. Hayinu, K'cholmim, Beshub, Yehovah, Eta Shibata Tzion, Hayinu, K'cholmim. Az imale sehok apinu ul shonenu rina az yomru vagoyim hikadil Yehovah la esota im ele. Then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the nations, Yehovah, Jehovah have done great things with these. Az imale sehok apinu az then yimale Yimale, being filled, sehok, laughter, pinu, our mouth, as Yimale, sehok apinu, ulishonenu rina, and our tongue, ulishonenu rina, with singing, ulishonenu rina, as yomru bagoyim, then as said they, yomru, among the nations, bagoyim, among the Gentiles, the nations and nationalities, as yomru bagoyim, higadili Yahuwah la esot aim ele. Yahuwah hath done great things with these. Higadil, great. Yahuwah, he who be, we be, la esot, to do, la esot, in with ele, with these, im ele, higadil Yahuwah la esot im ele, higadil Yahuwah la esot imanu, hayinu simachim. Yahuwah, Jehovah have done great things with us. We are rejoiced. Higadili Yahuwah la esot imanu, higadil great, Yahuwah, he who be, we be. La esot, to do imanu with us. Hikadili Yahuwah la esota imanu. Hayinu, we becoming. Hayinu simachim. Hayinu simachim. Joyful ones, rejoices. Simachim. Shubah Yahuwah eta shibutenu. Ka efikim ba negev. Turn our captivity, O Yahuwah, O Jehovah, as the streams in the dry land, as the streams in the Negev in the south. Shubah, turn, Yehovah, Shubah, Yehovah, turn, O Jehovah, et shibutenu, turn our turning, turn, restore our fortunes, to say, turn our captivity. That is the katib, what is written, et shibutenu, turn our captive ones, turn our captivity, the katib and the kare, shubah, Yahuwah, et shibutenu, shubah, Yahuwah, et shibitenu. Ka ifikim, ka as ifikim, the streams, banegeb, in the Negev, in the south. Ha zoraima bi'dima'ah, bi'rina yikazor. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. Ha zoraim, the sowers, ha zoraim, the sowers, bi'dima'ah. Bidima, in tears. Ha zorim, bidima, bi'rina yikasoru, bi'rina, in joy, in singing, in joy, rejoicing tones, bi'rina yikasoru, they shall reap. Haloka yeleka ua bako nose mesheka ha zara, Bo Yabo Berina Nosea Elumutayo. Though he goeth on his way weeping, that beareth the measure of seed, he shall come home with joy, bearing his sheaves. Halok Yelek, Halok Yelek. Going is going, Halok Yelek is going, going is going, in that sense, Haloka Yeleka U Bako, and weeping, no say, carrying, bearing, Mesheka Hazara, the measure of seed, Meshek Hazara, Mesheka Hazara, Bo Yabo. The first part, Halok Yelek, trotting his trod, Halok Yelek, though he goeth on his way, Halok Yelek, going his going, in a sense of trotting his trod, Halok Yelek, Uabako, and weeping, no say, lifting, bearing, no say, Meshek Hazara, the measure of seed, Bo Yabo, the sense of go is going, in the sense of he shall come home, go is going, Berina, with joy and singing, ringing, singing tones, no say, bearing, carrying, lifting up, no say, bearing, elumotayo, bearing his sheaves, Mizmor Kof Kaf Wow, Shir Hama'ilot, Beshuv Yahweh Eta Shibata Tzion, Hayinu Kecholmin, Az Yimale Sehok Apino, Uleshonenu Rina, Az Yomru Bagoyim, Hikadili Yahweh La Esota Im Ele, Hikadili Yahweh La Esot Imanu, Hayinu Asemachim, Shuba Yahweh Eta Shibutenu, Shuba Yahweh Eta Shebitenu, Kalfikima Banegev, Hazoraima Bedima, Berina Yikasoru, Haloka Yeleko Bako, no se Mesheka Hazara, Boya Boa Berina, no se Elumutayo.
Hebrew boy, everything takes time.
מזמור קכ"ו שיר המעלות. בשוב אדוני את שיבת ציון היינו כחולמים. אז ימלא שחוק פינו ולשוננו רינה. אז יאמרו בת גויים, הגדיל אדוני לעשות עם אלה. הגדיל אדוני לעשות עמנו, היינו שמחים. שובה אדוני את שביתנו, כאפיקים בנגב. אז זורעים בדמעה ורינה יקצורו. הלוך ילך ובכו נושא משך הזרע, בו יבוא ורינה נושא אלומותיו.
Psalm 126. And the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, We were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things. Psalm 126. And the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion. We were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves, with sheaves, with sheaves, with sheaves, with sheaves, with sheaves, with sheaves.
Many are calling, no? Many are called, but few are choosing. Many are called, but few are choosing. I was called, and I was choosing. It's funny, but it's true.
Test your knowledge. What is the King of Kings' kingdom, and from where does it rule? Where does it rule? Where does it rule? Who rules in the kingdom, and who are its subjects? How has the King of Kings assured us that his kingdom is a reality?
يا أحزاب الزمن يا جمرونا يا لك أو متشن.
When did the appointed times of the nations begin and end?
The blind stares of a million pairs of eyes. The blind,
Children, no respect and shepherd.
And David my servant shall be king over them. They all shall have one shepherd.
It is good that you are here to record this picture of me in my palace garden at Addis Ababa. People who see this throughout the world will realize that even in the 20th century, with faith, courage, and a just cause, David will still beat Goliath.
And David my servant shall be king over them. They all shall have one shepherd, 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 one shepherd.
So here, Midrash, a study here in today's Psalm, Mizmor Kof Kaf Wow, Psalm 126, Mizmor Kof Kaf Wow, Psalm CXXVI, a Midrash, a study here in the Beit Midrash, the house of study, here on today's Psalm. Shir Hama'ilot, Bishu Yahuwah Eta Shabbat Sion, Hayinu K'cholmin, a song of the goings up. Shir Hama'ilot, Bishu Yahuwah Eta Shabbat Sion, Hayinu K'cholmin, when Yahuwah Shahova, he who be, brought back those that return to Zion. Bishubi Yahuwah Eta Shabbat Sion. We were like them, like to them that dream. Hayinu K'cholmin. Rav Yochanan said, all the years of his life, Choni, that man renowned for righteousness, was troubled about this verse. He said, is it possible for a man to lie sleeping, to lay sleeping for 70 years? Choni said, is it possible for a man to lay sleeping for 70 years? 70 years? 70 years? 70 years? And here, Midrash notes, the Babylonian captivity referred to in this verse lasted 70 years. The Babylonian captivity of the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Yehuda, of Judah, referred to in this verse, it lasted 70 years. see Jeremiah, Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 11, and Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 10. The Babylonian captivity of the southern kingdom, the Judahites, the Yehudi, even we the black Jews, referred to in this verse, lasted for 70 years. One day, while Honi was walking along the road, he saw a man planting a carob tree. Honi asked, "Tell me now, in how many years will the carob tree bear fruit?" The man replied, 70 years. Said Honi, "Art thou certain that thou, the I, wilt live for 70 years more? Art thou certain that thou wilt live for 70 years more?" The man replied, "Me? I found carob trees already planted in the earth. And so, like my fathers, my patriarchs who planted carob trees for me, I plant carob trees for my children." Then Honi sat down to eat, and sleep came upon him. As he slept, a hedge grew up around Honi and concealed him from human eyes. And so he slept on for 70 years. When Honi awoke, he saw a man gathering fruit from the carob tree, and he asked, "Art thou the man who planted it?" And when the man replied, "I am the son of his son," Honi said to himself, "This seems to prove that it is possible to sleep for 70 years. And then when he saw his ass, that by this time had borne many mules, Honi said, "Now it is certain that I have been laying asleep for 70 years." Honi went to Baito, to his house, and said, "I am Honi, the circle drawer." Here, Midrash note to the previous Midrash on Psalm 7, the 17th section, 17th Parag, 7.17. Ani lechozer, I repeat, Honi went to Baito, went to his bait, his house, and said, "I am Honi, the circle drawer." But his household did not believe him. He went to the house of study, the Beit Midrash. He went to the house of the Midrash, the Beit Midrash, the house of study, and he heard the rabbis, Rabbanim, say, "This tradition is as clear to us as it was in the days of Honi, the circle drawer." For whenever he had come to the house of study, the Beit Midrash, he had solved for Rabbanim, for the rabbis, every moot point they had. And he said, quote, "I am Honi, Ani, Honi." But they did not believe him, and did not give him the honor that was due him. Full of despair, he asked for Adonai's mercy, and Nafsho, his soul went to its rest. Rabbah declared, people rightly say, either fellowship or death. Rabbah declared, people rightly say, either fellowship or death. And here Midrash notes, so Rashi in the Babylonian Talmud 23a, the PE, the printed edition, and Buba have this, quote, either comradeship, chabarim, like Eob's comrades, or death. Either comradeship, which is fellowship, which is chabarim, like Job's comrades, or death. Rabbah declared, people rightly say, either chabarim, either fellowship or death. Honi, the circle drawer, the son of Honi, the circle drawer's son, lived about the time of the destruction of Ha-Hekab, destruction of the temple. One day, he went out to a mountain to be with his workmen. While he was sitting there, rain began to come down, and so he went into a cave where he dozed off and fell asleep. He sank into a slumber that lasted the 70 years during that the temple, Ha-Hekab, was destroyed and rebuilt. At the end of the 70 years, when he woke from his sleep, he saw that the world had changed. Where olive groves had been, vineyards were growing. And where vineyards had been, olive groves were growing. He went towards the city and asked, "What's new in the world?" And they answered, "Knowest thou not what is new in the world?" "No," he said. Then they asked him, "Who art thou?" And he said, "I am Honi, the circle drawer." Whereupon they replied, "We have heard it said that whenever Honi, the circle drawer, came into a city, it shone." And here, Midrash notes from the Palestinian Talmud 3 and 9, whenever Honi came into Ha-Hekal, came into the temple court, it shone. So in the Palestinian Talmud 3 and 9, it says, whenever Honi came into Ha-Hekal, came into the temple court, it shone, it shined. When he came into the city, it did shine. And so, thinking of himself, he quoted the verse, when Yahweh Jehovah brought back those that returned to Zion, we were like to them that dream. Bishubi Yehovah eta shibata Zion, hayinu kecholmin. When he who be, Yehovah Jehovah brought back those that returned to Zion, Bishu Yehovah eta shibata Zion, we were like to them that dream. Hayim kecholmin. Then will our mouth be filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. Hear, the bait. The second verse of today's psalm is Mordkof, Kaf, Wow, Psalm 127. Az Yimale, Sechokapinu, O Leshonenu Rina. Then will our mouth be filled with laughter. Az Yimale, Sechokapinu. And our tongue, O Leshonenu, with singing. Rina. Az Yimale, Sechokapinu. O Leshonenu, Rina. Rav Yohanan said in the name of Rav Shimona ben Yochai, in this world, a man must not fill his mouth with laughter, for it is said, then will our mouth be filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. It says, then, az yimale sechokapinu l'shonenu rina. Then will our mouth be filled with sechok, yimale sechokapinu. Then will our mouth be filled with laughter and our tongue, I tongue with singing. O l'shonenu rina. And when is then? And when is then? When is az? When, as the next verse reads, they will say among the nations, Jehovah have done great things with these. Here. The next verse, the Gimel in the next part of the verse. Here, actually in the bait verse going on. Here, the fuller verse. Az Yimale Sechokapinu Ulishonenu Rina. Az, then. Az Yomru Bagoyim. Then said they, Yomru, among the nations, Bagoyim. Az Yomru Bagoyim. Yahweh Jehovah have done great things with these. Higdil Yahweh la esota im eile. Higdili Yahweh la esot im eile. Jehovah hath done great things with these. Higdil Yahweh la esot im eile. It was said of Rav Shimon ben Lakish that after he heard what Rav Yohanan said, never again in all of his life did he fill his mouth with laughter. And here, Midrash note, this passage, it reflects the spirit, the spirit of deep mourning that prevailed among the Yehudim, among the Judahites, even we the black Jews among the Yehudi and the Yehudim, after Ha-Hekal, after the temple and the state were overthrown. This passage here reflecting the spirit, the irit of deep mourning that prevailed among the Yehudim, among the Jews, even we the black Jews, after Ha-Hekal, after the temple and the state were overthrown. Rav Yeremiah, Ermias, Jeremiah, sitting in the presence of Rav Ze'erah, and seeing that Rav Ze'erah was overly cheerful, said to him, "Is it not written, for all sorrow there will be reward?" Rav Yeremiah, Jeremiah, Ermias, sitting in the presence of Rav Ze'erah, and seeing that Rav Ze'erah was overly cheerful, said to him, hear from the words of the Mashal, Proverbs, Mishle, Shlomo, the Proverbs of Solomon, Proverbs chapter 14, verse 23. Is it not written, for all sorrow there will be reward? The call etzeb, Yehiyeh motar. The call etzeb, Yehiyeh motar. In all labor there is profit. The call etzeb, Yehiyeh motar. Or, for all sorrow there will be reward. The call etzeb, Yehiyeh motar. In all labor there is profit. Rav Ze'erah answered, I wear tefillin. Rav Ze'erah answered Rav Jeremiah, Jeremiah, who quoted Proverbs 14:23. For all sorrow there will be reward, which can also be translated as, in all labor there is profit. B'kol etzeb Yehiyeh motar. And Rav Ze'erah answered, I wear tefillin. And here, Midrash note on this, his cheerfulness could not have been a disavowal of Ha-Elohim, of the true good, the true God, for he put on tefillin as an avowal, a thanks, a confession of Ha-Elohim, the true good, the true God's sovereignty, and a mark of confidence, of eifidence, of confidence in the future redemption of Yisrael. So when Rav Yeremiah quoting the Proverbs, for all sorrow there will be reward, Rav Ze'erah answered, I wear tefillin, to say that his cheerfulness could not have been a disavowal of Ha'el, the true good, the true God of Ha-Elohim, for he put on tefillin as an avowal, a confession, thanking, a confession of Ha'el, Ha-Elohim's sovereignty, and a mark of confidence, eifidence, confidence in the future redemption of Yisrael, of all Yisrael. Mar, the son of Rabina, made a wedding feast for Beno, for his son, and he saw that Ha-Rabbanim, the rabbis, were becoming overly merry. He sees a costly goblet, a costly chalice worth 400 silver coins, and broke it before their eyes. Ha-Rabbanim, the rabbis, became solemn again. Rav Ashi, too, made a wedding feast for Beno, his son, and seeing that Ha-Rabbanim, that the rabbis were overly merry, he seized a goblet, a chalice of wine, of white crystal, a chalice of white crystal, a goblet of white crystal, and broke it before their eyes, so that Ha-Rabbanim, the rabbis, became solemn again. Sometimes the word az, here in today's psalm, Mizmor Kof, Kaf, Wow, Psalm 126. Sometimes the word az, then, meaning then, it denotes the future tense. As in the verse, then, az, will our mouth be filled with laughter. Az, Yemale, Sechok Pino. Az, then, will our mouth be filled with laughter. Az, Yemale, Sechok Pino. Sechok Finu. Turn our captivity, O Jehovah. Turn our captivity, O he who be, who he be. Shubah Yehovah eta shibutenu. Shubah Yehovah eta shibutenu. Turn our captivity, O he who be. Rav Yitzchak Isaac taught, a day of heavy rain is as consequential as the ingathering of Israel, As is said, even in today's Psalm, Mizmor Kaf Wow, Psalm 126, here at the fourth verse, the Dalet verse, turn our captivity, O Jehovah, as the streams in the dry land. Shubah, Yahovah, Eta Shibutein, Kai Fakim, Ba Negev. Turn our captivity, O Jehovah, as the streams in the dry land. Ka is the key. Ka as is the key. The stream. Ba Negev. Ba Negev. Ba Negev. Ba in the Negev. In the dry land, or in the Negev in the south. By is the key. Ka is the key. Ka is the key. By is the key. Or the key. By streams is clearly meant streaming rain. As in the verse, even the verse from 2 Shemuel, 2 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 16, and the streams, Afikeh, and the streams of the sea appeared, and the streams, Afikeh, of the sea appeared. And here in the KJV, the verse is read, and the channels of the sea appeared. The foundations of the world were discovered at the rebuking of Jehovah, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. So here we have the verse in 2 Shemuel, 2 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 16, that may also be translated as, and the streams of the sea appeared, and the channels of the sea appeared. Wayerawa isikeyama. Yigalo mosdota tevela be'erata Yehovah mia nishmata ruacha apo. The fuller verse, and the channels of the sea appeared. Wayerao ifikei yam, and the channels of the sea, the streams, the ifikei, wayerao, and they being seen, ifikei yam. Ifikei, the channels of the sea, the streams, Ifikei Yam, the streams of the sea. Yigalu amosodota tevela. The foundations of the world were laid bare. The foundations of the world were discovered. Yigalu mosodot tevel, of the tevel, of the inhabitable portions of the earthly plane. Yigalu mosdot tevel de garat Yehovah mia nishmata ruach apo. At the rebuking of he who be be garat Yehovah, be garati Yehovah, be garat Yehovah. At the rebuking of he who be, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. Mi nishmat, the nishmat, neshama, mi nishmata ruach apo. Vayarao efikei yama, ikalu mosdota tevela, bekarati Yehovah, mi nishmata ruach apo. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bearing his sheaves with him. Here today's Psalm is Mordekov Kaf Wow, Psalm 127. Here Hebraically the 5th and the 6th verses, the hey and the wow verses. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bearing his sheaves with him. Hazor ima de dima'ah. Rina yikazoru haloka yeleka bua bakoa noseya mesheka hazara boya bo rina noseya ilumotai. Rav Yehuda Judah taught, an ox as he goeth forth to his plowing goes weeping, but as his returning he eats the green shoots in the furrows. And here the metaphor, it changes here in today's psalm to life on the land. The peasant sows his seed with tears of anxiety. But when the time, the hour of reaping comes, tears give place to joy, to joyful singing. Ha-zoraima be-dima'ah. They that sow be-dima'ah, be-dima'ah in tears. Ha-zoraim, ha-zoraim, be-dima'ah. The sowers in tears. Ha-zoraima be-dima'ah. Be-rina yikasforu, shall reap yikasforu. They shall reap yikasforu. Be-rina shall reap in singing. Rina, be-rina in joy. In joy. He that goeth forth. Halok yelek, goings, he goeth his goings, haloka yelek, ua bakoa, and weepeth, ua bako, bakoa, no say, mesheka hazara, meshek hazara, bearing precious seed. No say, lifting, bearing, carrying, no say, meshek. Interesting, the word meshek, even here in today's psalm, we have meshek. What is the meshek? Meshek is translated as precious. Then in the 120th psalm, we have meshek, brought out as mesek. Mesek in the translation as a place, but we have meshek, a sowing, a possession, something precious, having a price, meshek, from mashak, to draw, to sow, to sound, to prolong, to develop, to march, the sense of a sowing, also a possession, brought out here as precious, meshek hazara. Meshek hazara, zara, the seed, precious, the seed. Bo ya bo. Now the translation says, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing. Bo is like to go, his goings. Bo ya bo. The rin, he shall come. The home, the idea is go, he going, the rina, with joy, with singing, no say, illumotayo, no say, lifting, carrying, no say, illumotayo, bearing, carrying, illumotayo, carrying his sheaves, bearing his sheaves, the sense of carrying his sheaves with him. A different interpretation, a different targum. They that sow in tears. Hazorim bedima. They, the sowers in tears. They that sow in tears. This alludes to Yaakov. This alludes to Jacob, who, being afraid, wept as he sowed his father's braka, as he sowed his father's blessings, barkoto. That is to say, as participating in the deception whereby he would obtain his father's barkot, his father's baraka, barkato, his father's blessing. Saying, Wayomer, him saying, my father peradventure perhaps will feel me. Even here in Bereshit, in Genesis chapter 27, verse 12. Ulai yemusheni abi, my father perhaps, ulai perhaps, yemusheni, feel me abi, my father perhaps will feel me. Shall reap in joy. This also alludes to Yaakov. This alludes to Jacob. Here, Berina Yiksoru, shall reap in joy, also alludes to Yaakov, to whom it was said, even in Bereshit, in Genesis chapter 27, verse 28, so God gives thee of the dew of heaven, and of the fat places of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. וייתן לך האלוהים מטעל השמיים ומשמני הארץ ורוב דגן ותירוש. So Elohim give thee of the dew of heaven, of the dew of the heavens. וייתן לך האלוהים מטעל השמיים, and of the 5 places of the earth. ומשמני הארץ, and plenty with rove, and nuff with rove, and plenty of corn and wine with rove, tagana with tirosh. וייתן לך האלוהים מטעל השמיים ומשמני הארץ ורוב דגנה ותירוש. And he that goeth and weepeth, here in today's song, the 6th verse, the wild verse, he that goeth on his way weeping and weepeth. Halok yeleka uabakoa, halok yeleka uabakoa. He that goeth and weepeth. This alludes to Yaakov, to Jacob, of whom it was said even in Bereshit, in Genesis chapter 29, verse 11, and Jacob lifted up his voice and wept, and Yaakov and Jacob lifted up his voice and wept. Yaakov, Wayisa etekolo, Wayabik. Here the full verse, and Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. Wayishaka Yaakov le Rachel, Wayisa etekolo Wayabik, and Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice and wept. Wayishaka Yaakov le Rachel, Wayisa etekolo Wayabik, and bearing precious seed, Nosei Mesheka Hazara, Nosei Mesheka Hazara, bearing precious seed. Here, the wild verse of today's psalm, Psalm 126, bearing precious seed alludes to Yaakov, alludes to Jacob, bearing the tribes out of Haran, and shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him, and shall doubtless come again with rejoicing. Bo yabo berina, bringing his sheaves with him. No se elumotao. This alludes to Yaakov, Jacob. Jacob's bringing back with him sheaves of young men and young women. Sheaves of young men and young women. And here, Midrash, the final Midrash note on today's Psalm, is Morkov Kaf Wow, Psalm 126. Here we have a play on Aluma, and Elumotao, his sheaves. Here we have Aluma, sheaf. We have sheaf. We have Elam, young man. We have Alma, young woman. Here referred to the Bereshit Rabbah, the Genesis Rabbah 79 and 4. Here, a play on Aluma, sheaf, and Elam, young man, and Alma, young woman. Bo, berina, no se, lumotayo. He shall come again, come home with joy, with singing, bearing his sheaves with him.
Psalm 126. And the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion. We were like them that dream. Dream, dream, dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things, 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 great things. Psalm 126. When the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, the Lord hath done great things for them. The Lord hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with sheaves, 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 with sheaves.
מזמור קכ"ו שיר המעלות. ושוב אדוני את שיבת ציון היינו כחולמים. אז ימלא שחוק פינו ולשוננו רינה. אז יאמרו בגויים, הגדיל אדוני לעשות עם אלה. הגדיל אדוני לעשות עמנו, היינו שמחים. שובה אדוני את שביתנו, כאפיקים בנגב, אז זורעים בדמעה ורינה יקצורו, הלוך ילך ובכו נושא משך הזרע, בו יבוא ורינה נושא אלומותיו.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.